Welcome to this short video about the Bodleian Libraries energy saving project. The Bodleian's been a library since 1602 when our founder Sir Thomas Bodley re-established an earlier library, Oxford's early university library, as a resource for what he described as the whole Republic of the Learned. Oxford has been keeping records since the early 13th century, since the origins of the university. And we've had a library system since at least 1317. So we understand the importance of long-term stewardship of resources. And so this project around saving energy, around sustainability, is entirely in tune with the Bodleian's core mission to keep information accessible over very long periods of time.
Environmental sustainability at the University of Oxford is quite well defined. The university adopted an environmental sustainability policy in 2008 and then went on to set out its carbon management strategy, which it adopted in 2011. The nub of that strategy is that we have a carbon emission reduction target of 33%, which we aim to achieve by 2020.
We have 25% of our building stock which is listed, a lot of those are within the libraries at present. That makes it quite complicated and quite difficult to achieve any success.
Utilities budget is a large budget at around £750,000.
The libraries are quite a significant department within the university. They consume 5.5% of the whole of the university's energy consumption on an annual basis, and that leads to 6.1% of our carbon emissions.
The libraries came up with a fantastic project which actually helped us to really push that off and kickstart it.
So estates went about identifying projects that would lead to carbon reductions, and we identified about 50 projects that we thought would work in a variety of different buildings across the library's portfolio. We approached them with a list of projects that we thought would lead to carbon reduction. We discussed that list with the libraries to make sure that the projects that we'd come up with worked for them as well, and we then prioritised the list and soon got started on actually implementing the projects.
Osley 1 it's a modern building, relatively speaking, for the university, but it was built in stages. So there's one bit and then they added on another wing on one side and then added on another bit on the top. And as they added further heating and air conditioning systems. So there's many different systems going on in that building. So it was a real challenge.
It was a poorly performing building, both in terms of the environmental conditions. It was very, very dry in the winter, which made it difficult for conservation. It was hot in some places, cold in others simultaneously. Now that provided an opportunity both for energy savings and for an improvement in the environment. We spent a lot of time recommissioning the heating and cooling systems, the Versatemps. We reduced the amount of airflow that went through the building, which was unnecessarily high. This was quite expensive in terms of the plant that we put in, but the payback was amazing, about 2 years.
So it was a long drawn out and not easy thing to do, and I do really want to commend everybody who kept going and persevered, because it got discouraging at times because it was such a challenge as a building, so higgledy-piggledy, but they kept going, and really I am just very excited to be going into a winter.
Another big saving was made in the Sackler Library, where we identified that plant was running overnight, where our building management system was telling us that it wasn't. We spent £150 on purchasing temporary metering that we could clip on to distribution boards. We were able to leave this to log overnight, over weekends, to build up a profile of specific pieces of equipment within the building. This was incorporated into the distribution boards within the Sackler Library, which helped us identify £14,000 worth of savings on adjusting time clocks on the BMS system.
We talked to the whole department, from people that were working on the ground right up to senior management, and that wide engagement really helped the project to be successful. The benefit of working with the whole department was that everyone understood what we were doing. Everyone could see that this project was going to lead to cost savings for the library, but also contribute towards the university's main carbon reduction target.
And I've been really impressed through the duration of this project how the library staff has worked as a team together, and there's been a real evident commitment among all staff at all grades in all parts of the system to try and save energy, because we all understand the importance of this in the early decades of the 21st century.
I think what made some of these projects particularly successful was that not only were we able to reduce the energy consumption, but we were also able to improve the conditions at the same time.
The libraries are thrilled that the project has delivered more than the £100,000 savings, and the figure that we have from estate services is that it's generating an annual saving of £168,000, which is fabulous.
We're very pleased with the success of this project. It delivered more than we thought it would do, and it delivered it quicker. So the payback is good, the occupants are happy because we've improved the conditions. We need to do more of the same.
So the carbon savings linked to the project are 410 tonnes of carbon per year, and so far we've saved 925 tonnes of carbon. So these projects really are working.
So we can use this as a key project, as kind of a flagship to then roll out amongst other departments within the institution. And it was really good that colleagues in the libraries picked this up and ran with us on this particular project to make the savings that we've made overall. So it benefits the department, the state services and the university overall.